G'day, this is Andy Curtis, and this is the first in a series of videos on professional social media. The aim of this video is to show you why your professional social media profile is important to your business, and to deliver you a clear step-by-step approach to rebuilding or optimizing your existing profiles. We're going to focus our attention on professional social media profiles, particularly LinkedIn, but the approach is going to be valid across most of the networks. Let's establish the background on social media profiles. If you have a Facebook profile, what you might be uncomfortable to learn is that your public social media profile is currently visible to more than 70 million registered users. So if you thought for a moment that you're anonymous on social media, think again. Someone has already noticed you and formed an opinion based on how you presented that information. A lack of information can even be as damaging as too much or the wrong material. So given that more than 70% of online adults already use social networking sites for recreational or business purposes, the growing ubiquity of smartphones means that your social profile is now just a finger tap away. So based on 2013 data, 40% of mobile phone users already use a social networking site on their phone, and 28% of those people do so every day. For the purposes of this video, we're just going to be focusing on professional social media profiles, so we're going to be leaving Facebook off to one side to some extent. So looking at LinkedIn alone, there is one new professional profile created every second. So given the volume of these profiles, you clearly need to stand out to be noticed in your professional area of expertise. It's clearly not good enough anymore to just think, if I build it, they will come. And as we know, professional social media sites are gated. So access to these gated areas builds or at least implies some sort of trust. So building a clear profile and targeting these trusted areas is what building value as you go is going to be all about, which is at the core of your profile enhancement exercise. So ultimately, why bother with professional social networking profiles? Well, a well-planned professional profile is one of the first and last avenues available when you want to establish key networking connections inside your target businesses. It's also one of the only ways into the Fortune 500s. Let's face it, cold calling IBM hasn't worked for a while now. By the way, did you know that 80% of companies use social media for recruitment and service acquisition? 95% of businesses use LinkedIn. So that's why we're focused on LinkedIn at the moment. So, how do we use a professional social media profile to get discovered? Stating the obvious, your profile is at the foundation of this, so it's going to have to be solid. Social media sites present themselves to the internet as a huge searchable database, a bit like Google. Like Google, the relevance, not just the quantity of words, is going to be the key. Unlike Google, your social graph, the quality and quantity of your connections is considered. So put simply, we need to get lots of relevant quality connections and work our way into the in-crowd. There's an old online saying, success leaves clues. And when you're marketing yourself online, there's never been a better maxim. So how do we drop clues for the right people to find? Well, firstly, let's figure out what our competitors are doing right to achieve their higher rankings. We also need to use some of their established learning, some of their keywords, and certainly some of their market direction to our advantage. And I'm going to bet that doesn't sound quite so easy after you've done some old-fashioned market research legwork. So let's break down the application into a series of about 20 steps. Each step is important, but for different reasons. So let's make sure we have a complete understanding of the toolset before we go on that trip. Let's kick off the strategy. What I'm going to be talking about now are my steps to getting the best possible result using your social media profile. Now, we never said that success involved a magic bullet. So roll your sleeves up, this is going to take a while. You're going to quickly discover that the most important areas are those that can be influenced primarily by your keywords. So let's get the keywords right. Step 1. Let's start by building our keywords and our key phrases. So what are keywords and key phrases? Well, they're the words that you use in your marketing material. They're the words that relate to yourself and to your business. If you're a voice actor, well, voice acting and voice specialist and studios, they're all words that relate to your industry. We obviously need to target them for the audience. You need to decide what you want to be known for and how you want to be found. Google your key competitors and find out how each positions themselves with their repeated use of keywords. You're very quickly going to learn what keywords are the right ones for you. You then need to select 2 to 4 key phrases. Let's do the searches with each one of these phrases and see if you rank. That's whether your website shows up in Google. And then you're going to see who your competition really is. Take a careful note of your ranking if you've got one. You're going to want to compare the results before and after. So study the profiles of your competitors, especially where they share the same usage or similar usage of your key phrases. Good old-fashioned market research is always going to pay off. Don't forget to use the Google AdWords keyword tool and traditional SEO techniques, which we're going to cover in more detail in the next video. And refine your key phrases and measure search traffic. Then, back around the circle and revise your keyword selection as necessary. Step 2. Now, before we set to work with any of the heavy machinery, let's make sure we're not going to annoy the neighbours. Best way to annoy your neighbours is spam them constantly with change notifications. So let's turn that off prior to making any changes to the profile. You don't want your friends to get blasted, and you certainly don't want to see dozens of change emails every time you tweak. So for sites like LinkedIn, go to Settings, Privacy Settings, and go to your profile and look for Status Updates. Select No for profile updates and status updates while you're making these changes. Don't forget to reset your notification setting after completing the changes. Step 3. What's in a name, you ask? Well, everything. Most social media sites are finicky in how they handle names. Many are even case sensitive. It's always best to use upper and lowercase for both names, but not all upper or all lowercase. Don't include your middle initial. Some sites like LinkedIn might actually use this information to place you. Don't include email addresses, phone numbers, or special characters in the name field. Bad move. Step 4. Contrary to popular belief, a picture is still worth 1,000 words. So let's make sure these are choice words. Upload a professional quality photo. It's surprising how many people don't. If you don't have a professional quality headshot, it's time to get one done. They're really not expensive. Don't use an avatar or a weird image. Your professional social media profile is not Twitter or Facebook. Don't crop last year's vacation photo either. Don't include your family, friends, significant other, or pets. And always use a photo that projects the image you want your audience to know you by. If it's more casual, choose something a little more casual. If it's a little more professional, go for the suit shot. But don't forget to resize it to fit the cropping box before you upload. It does make a difference. Step 5. Your profile's headline is what's going to grab your reader's attention. You've got about 120 characters, including spaces. Use them all for best effect. Place the most important key phrase first, followed by a comma. Then your second most important key phrase, and so on. Step 6. Never underestimate the power of staying top of mind. The best way to do this is using the status or update box. Now, updates are very much like 7-second commercials for your brand sent directly to your contacts. And assuming you're not spamming your contacts, they're probably going to listen. This is often a useful paradigm as people's attention span continues to shrink, and let's face it, you don't get a second chance. So don't start spamming your audience with drivel about your product, recent irrelevant activity, or have an online bowel movement. It's just not going to help. Keep it short, keep it relevant, and keep it interesting. Use an update to let people know what's going on, especially anything new. Use carefully crafted updates to stay top of mind with clients and prospects, and leave your updates posted for about 3 days, then update them again. Your update box can also serve as a feed from your professional Twitter account. But be careful how you use Twitter. Step 7. Explaining to your readers how your current professional experience is useful to them can really seal the deal. So, again, let's start with your most important key phrases. Break your current experience down into as many useful pieces as you can, because each line gives you credit in the search rankings. If you've got multiple jobs or titles in your current position, list them separately with keywords. If you've got multiple clients in your current position, similarly, list them with separate keywords. Try to get at least 3 different line items using different key phrases in each section. Step 8. Relevant information about your past professional experience can really boost your profile, so don't neglect it if it fits. List key jobs and roles that you've held or completed, especially ones containing your key phrases. Start each line off with your most important key phrases and break your past experiences at each job down into as many pieces as you can, because each line gives you credit in the rankings, as we mentioned before. If you've had multiple jobs or titles in your previous jobs, list them separately with keywords. If you've had multiple clients in your previous jobs, again, list them separately with keywords. Try to get at least 3 different line items using key phrases in this section, preferably meaning trainers, mentors, qualifications, coaches, and education is key to establishing your credentials and overcoming doubt in the mind of your reader. So stating your education in detail accomplishes several things. It's going to allow classmates and fellow graduates of your alma mater to find you. It fills in the blanks so people get a better picture of who you are. It gives you a chance to spotlight your successes and best qualities even as a student. It also presents a clear picture of how your training and education has helped you get where you are today. Listing your undergraduate alma mater, mentors and key accomplishments, awards, leadership positions or special stuff is going to be really helpful, but only if it's targeted. Listing continuing education activities, if they're significant, can also add depth. The old rule, always use key phrases, but don't be tempted to just stuff your profile full of these keywords. The benefit can quickly turn into a problem. Step 10. One of the most hotly contested areas in professional social media is that of recommendations. Now, recommendations serve as third-party endorsements for your work, your personality and your character. Ideally, try and obtain at least one credible recommendation for each position or role you've held. If it's not credible, don't post it. Each recommendation listed also repeats your title for that position. At least one recommendation makes all key phrases in that experience section count twice with Google. With sites like LinkedIn, you need to have at least 3 recommendations for your profile to be considered 100% complete. Step 11. Once you've established your brand through the profile, it's time to build your audience. In social media speak, that's your connections. Connections are your readers, your audience, your prospects, or fan base. And that's what's going to keep the system working for you. Ideally, the more connections the better, because of the geometric progression of your network. Search results are based in part on your social graph. So the more connections you have, the more relevant you become statistically. Don't forget about the quality though. You really do need your connections based around you and your industry. While LinkedIn Open Networkers can help you build your connection base, it can also create a quality problem, so use it sparingly. Step 12. If you have your own external website set up already, linking it to your social media presence is going to improve your content relevance. So start by listing your websites and blogs with the most important one presented first. Personalize the name of the links, from My Company or My Blog to the actual name of your site. Step 13. If your brand supports the use of short messages via Twitter, don't forget to link your Twitter profile. If you keep your Twitter feed clean, Twitter can be a powerful tool if your brand can make use of the short messaging platform to effectively engage your clients. Linking your professional Twitter account so others can follow you can be a tool or a mistake, especially if you're seen to be spamming your audience. So if used carefully, it's just one more chance to make a connection. Step 14. Opening the doors to your public profile can be daunting, but it needs to be done if you're going to market via social media. It's worth taking a moment to check your public profile settings carefully so that potential clients can just see the necessary parts of your profile before engaging. Until your target audience engages, it's always best to hold back key personal details. Now, before you start publishing, don't forget to revise the vanity link on your profile, rather than using the ugly link most sites give you to start with. Step 15. Building a razor-sharp 10-second infomercial into the summary area gives you a great chance to rapidly engage. The summary area is your opportunity to pitch your story and establish interest. You can either grab or lose a reader's interest right here. So use key phrases where they make sense, but just no stuffing, as this paragraph is all about your reader, the real reader, not just the search engines. Discuss your value proposition and how you can help your prospect right here. Step 16. So you think you've grabbed their attention, but what's going to make you stand out? Establishing your niches via specialities makes you special, not just another one of the elite crowd. Now, there's no limit on the number of specialities, up to 500 characters. Lead with your key phrases, but establish value in each specialization. Why is each one useful and relevant to your target audience? Focus on the sales mantra, features and benefits. Use a list format for ease of viewing. Step 17. Using applications connected to your social media profile is going to give you much needed efficiency when you're actually building your social media experience, and it also opens the door to automation. Most of the social media networks now offer a range of easy-to-use applications that can save time and help you to engage your audience. Review the list of possibilities available within each network. So for example, if you've got a WordPress blog, set it up to auto-feed the last 4 posts to keep content fresh and interesting on your LinkedIn profile. Linked applications add relevance to your social feed. Step 18. Round out your online picture by telling your readers about your interests. This section gives you a chance to show your audience a well-rounded picture of you. It also gives you another chance to use key phrases carefully. Use commas after each line item because these are active links. Step 19. Get together in the groups and grow your brand. This is where a solid professional foundation is needed first. Collaboration in groups remains one of the single most powerful aspects of professional social media, as long as it's used correctly. Out of the many thousands of groups online, you can typically join a few dozen and retain your sanity. But focus pays off. LinkedIn has a hard limit of 50 groups at any one time. There's actually no limit to the number of subgroups you can join, but again, focus is key. Professional social networking sites like LinkedIn use the gated access we spoke about earlier. What that means is you have to know somebody to gain access. However, as a member of the group, you can usually invite other members and build your own following in the process. Join groups that most closely meet the profile of your prospects, then begin connecting and contributing your experience specifically where it's called for. Every connection you make geographically expands your network, your social graph, and improves your relevancy in the search results. So start by connecting with the group moderator and those members with the largest number of connections, for the reasons we just mentioned. When you edit your profile, you can change the visibility of your group memberships, so that if you're in groups not directly related to your core area of expertise and you don't want them watering down your brand, you can always hide those groups. Step 20. Assuming you now have a following and connections, it's time to shed your modesty for a moment and add your honours and awards. Adding a suitably relevant list of honours and awards or accomplishments can help people get a better idea of who you are in the professional space. Relevance probably doesn't mean school football, participation trophies, and all those wonderful things you're probably so proud of. But don't be shy, and don't embellish. As we all know, the walls have ears. Step 21. You have your followers and your groups established, and you're waiting for the call. But can your clients contact you? Well, let's hope your personal contact information is already set up. Now add your business phone number and email if you want people to be able to contact you. Adding a mobile, free call and regional phone numbers, let's say via Skype, can also enhance your prospects if you're marketing nationally or internationally. Skype in regional phone numbers can allow clients the opportunity to call a local number. Now, for obvious security reasons, it's not recommended that you include your date of birth. Step 22. Having a great profile, groups and contact information is perfect, as long as you're not invisible. So don't forget to check your contact settings and visibility. To ensure that you're accessible and able to be easily contacted, accept connections, introductions, and on LinkedIn, InMail. Check for fake profiles periodically and those with no connections. Get rid of them. Select the opportunity preferences that are consistent with your goals. Fill in the advice box and give specific guidance as to what you're looking for. Don't include private contact information since your response will be visible to everyone. Now, if you've made it this far, you've successfully completed your first profile improvement campaign. Congratulations. It really wasn't that hard now, was it? Once the search engines catch up, start doing keyword searches against your chosen key phrases, and you should start to see an impressive improvement in how you rank in the search results. You will probably want to track the changes using standard SEO tools, but this is the topic of the next video. Social media profile improvement is an ongoing process. It's not just going to happen once. So continue to look for ways to tweak your profile, especially as career highlights occur that can enhance your profile further. When you carry out those regular market research searches, continue to study the profiles of the people who rank higher than you and see why they do. Then try to revise your profile accordingly. Remember, look for the keywords. Tweak your keywords and build up your profile by contributing constructively to your chosen groups. And one last thing, don't forget to turn your notifications back on after all those changes are complete. Thanks for watching, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next Gadget Access and GA Voice.